Good afternoon. I'm Christina Daly from the Department of ECE, SNS College of Technology. In this lecture series, we are going to discuss about the topic circuits. So before entering into the circuit topics, let us first know what are all the basic things available in the elements. Here we are having various types of the elements, active and passive elements, unilateral and bilateral elements, linear and non-linear elements, lumped and distributed elements. For example, if we have we are going to take some of the electronic components. So suppose if we are taking the resistor, capacitor, inductor or diode, LED, that is light emitting diode, a relay or battery, whatever it may be. So these are all the things, these are all the components that comes under the active elements or passive elements, unilateral and bilateral, linear, non-linear, lumped and the distributed elements. What do you mean by active elements? The first thing we have to know, in the previous slide, we have seen some of the components. In here, we have to differentiate what are all the active elements and what are all the passive elements. Suppose if we are giving the energy or power in the form of the voltage or current to the circuit. For example, if we taken the active component, it may be voltage source, transistor or LED. These are all the things comes under the active components. Passive component, resistor, capacitor, inductors. Apart from that, we are having the batteries, generators, transistor or the op amps. So these are all the things we are seeing in both the active elements. When compared to that of the active elements, the next one we are going to see the passive. So passive means it cannot generate energy, only it observe or store it. For example, if we have taken the resistor, capacitor, inductor, it cannot generate energy, just it can observe or store it. So there will be no power gain. The next one we are going to see about the unilateral. So we are having here I have taken the diode. Here the behavior depends on the direction of the current or the voltage. So here the characteristics changes with the polarity. It may be positive or negative, and the examples of this unilateral elements is diode and the transistor. Bilateral. So it is nothing but the same behavior in both directions of the current flow. The characteristics remains unchanged. So the examples we are taking as the resistor, inductor, capacitor. So these are all the bilateral elements. Linear elements. So what do you mean by this linear elements means which it obeys the superposition and homogeneity principles. Here the VI relationship is linear, that is voltage versus current. For example, if we have taken an ideal transistor or ideal inductor or the ideal capacitor. So these are all the examples of the linear elements. The circuit is shown here. Here the voltage source is applied, along with that the resistor, inductance and the capacitance has been connected. The graph shows the voltage versus current. While coming to that of the non-linear elements, we have taken the diode, transistor and the SCR. So here VT, that is here the load across the voltage, here we have measured as VD, and the characteristics curve of this non-linear elements is shown here. So the examples of the non-linear elements are the diode, transistor and the SCR. The next one we are going to see the lumped elements. The electrical parameters concentrated at a point. Circuit dimensions are very small when compared to that of the wavelength. So here we are having the low frequency circuit, that is RL, another one. See, this is the difference between the distributed and the lumped elements. While coming to that of the distributed elements, the parameters are spread along the length of the circuit. It will be used in high frequency applications. The examples are transmission lines, coaxial cables, and waveguides. So this is the mind map of the circuit elements. In the classification of the circuit elements, we are having the active elements, passive elements. Active is nothing but we are supplying the energy to the circuit. While coming to that of the passive, it absorbs or store energy. While coming to that of the linear and non-linear, in linear elements, it obeys the linear laws. But in the non-linear, we are going for, it does not obey the superposition theorem. Lumped elements and the distributed. Lumped elements, the parameters concentrated at a point, but in the here it spread along the length. The unilateral elements depends on the current or the voltage direction. In bilateral elements, it depends upon the directions, current direction. Thank you.